All right, to this, a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go ahead and jump into the video immediately. Let's see where this takes us, guys. What's going on? What is this?
Anti-ICE protesters in Portland, Oregon, rolling out a guillotine, clashing with police and turning the streets into a battlefield outside a migrant detention facility there. It's the latest flashpoint in protests that has stretched nearly 3 months now. A Democrat mayor, Keith Wilson, stands firm on keeping Portland a migrant sanctuary city. Okay. Our correspondent Dan Springer has that story for us. So Dan, are we expecting more unrest?
Every night it happens, Sandra, and you know, this is happening just outside of an ICE facility with hundreds of Portland residents living in apartments right across the street, and Portland police will not engage out of some fear that it will be perceived as helping ICE in violation of the sanctuary law.
Bro, if they're being like attacked in any meaningful manner, I think you should probably, you know, come out and help. But okay. That's a wild one, guys.
Oh my God. Turn that down! It's midnight! We the people need sleep!
And what makes this even more frustrating for residents is that Portland police won't respond to noise complaints or even when assaults are witnessed.
I'm calling about the protesters. They cornered 2 women out here. They need help. They cornered them. Please send the cops.
Jeez, guys.
Portland police have not made a single arrest since June 18th, despite a number of assaults. A protester hit one resident with a megaphone, then a fist. Despite the injuries, no arrest. One resident sued the city to force cops to enforce the laws, and this was uncovered during discovery. One officer telling another on the police radio, quote, "If it were not ICE, we could assist directly."
That's wild. That is wild to say out loud.
This is a full-on abdication of police duty in a 4-block radius that impacts some of the most vulnerable Oregonians that we have. Now they've said, meh, we're just going to let violent rioters do this for 80 straight nights, and we don't care.
Police in Portland declined an interview, but said in a statement, quote, "We take these concerns seriously. At the same time, we are committed to protecting individuals' rights to express themselves peacefully." Now,
oh, that's a cop-out. Like, I mean, obviously we saw the videos here. I'm gonna have to edit this one out because there was like one thing that connected on one of the videos, and we can't show that on my channel here, guys. Can't. But yeah, guys. Yeah. I mean, we see what's happening here, and you're refusing to actually do something, bro. That's a cop-out. That's absolutely despicable.
All of this is on top of 3 straight months of protests in 2020, and this rioting has really taken a toll on the city's reputation. There are so many vacancies in the city of Portland right now that it ranks next to last in good places to invest in the country, and they've lost the top 20 buildings for offices have lost 57% of their combined value in the last 5 years.
Yeah, guys, this did not just happen. Like, understand, Portland has basically been a weirdo type of city in the first place for a while now, guys. I'm surprised it's only been 5 years.
$1.7 billion down the drain. Sandra?
All right, Dan Springer on that for us. Dan, thank you.
Money talks, right?
Portland, Seattle,
the Seattle radio
all
talk
of
show
that
host.
whole
Jason,
coast
nice
is done for.
Good day to you. I want to roll a couple things here. Here's the flag burning and the guillotine. We'll have our viewers take a gander at that. I'm having a hard time understanding how big of an area this is, or how many people are out there on a nightly basis. Do you have a sense of that?
Yeah, so the area itself is relatively small because they are pretty much focused on this one building, but a lot of the organizing happens a few blocks away with a nearby park. But still, I mean, as a whole, we're talking about a relatively small amount of space, but they're doing a lot of damage there, and that's the actual problem. Any given night, there could be anything from a couple dozen to about 50, even 100. I mean, the more momentum that continues to build brings in more folks who aren't just living in Portland and the general Oregon area. There are folks who are coming from California and Washington State as well.
I told you, both of those places. The whole coast is done for. Forget about it, guys.
To help out with this organizing and this all-out assault against ICE.
So the mayor's not going to cooperate. That's pretty
Oh,
clear.
no.
Here's what the Portland
No.
mayor said. Here's the quote. Federal administration deploys bulldozers and mass arrests by masked agents, the opposite of our outreach worker and emergency shelter strategy. Let's work together by volunteering and donating and prove the administration's heavy-handed tactics are not needed in our city. That's
Okay.
a no. Right?
Right. That's a no.
I mean, that's more than a no. I think it's clearly rejecting any kind of interference coming from the federal government. And that's really what this problem is, because you've got two separate issues that the mayor is trying to use to generate folks on his side. On the one hand, you've got just the sanctuary policies. They want nothing to do with ICE agents. At the same time, despite all of this, they've got a homelessness crisis. And they're now claiming that the president is going to send National Guard troops into Portland to help with homelessness. And so he's using that as a threat to generate support for a plan that continues to fail, frankly, in Portland, and is a big reason why you've got that vacancy rate that Dan Springer talked about.
Here is the deputy ICE director talking about the cities that need the help, and they're blue.
Let's hear it.
As you all know, oftentimes these Democrat-run cities are the ones who need ICE the most. And the men and women of ICE, Secretary Noem and President Trump will not be deterred by Democrat members of Congress, of governors, and of local leadership who are saying they will not work with ICE. We will go into communities and we will enforce immigration law as it's written.
So, Jason, can you project for us what this looks like in 3 or 6 months? We had the governor of Louisiana on our program earlier on America's Newsroom. And the question came up about New Orleans. He pretty much said, he didn't say, let's start this hour, but it was pretty much any day. And whether it was New Orleans or Chicago or somewhere else, how big does this go?
If it starts in Chicago, you're going to see considerably less controversy than if it happens in Portland or Seattle. The reality is, if they were to bring any federal troops to do any kind of policing, no matter how many people might even want it, you're going to have the large contingency of these thugs who you're seeing on screen right now
people here.
Get violent.
No doubt.
It will turn violent. And that's going to be
guys.
counterproductive to the end goals of this administration. I mean, part of me wants to send them in to send the message. A lot of these people, you can tell, they're dressed in black bloc. They do not want to be known. And so what the federal government should be doing is making arrests, unmasking them, and doing to them exactly what they've been doing to the criminal illegal immigrants on social media, which is taking photos during the arrests and outing the people responsible. That could make a difference. However, they are violent, and that's the problem that will be posed to federal law enforcement agencies if they end up getting more involved than what they're currently doing.
Yeah, guys, we've seen this. We've seen all of this. Like, none of this is new. We've seen, back when the massive protests basically swept the country, how Portland and specifically all of the major cities on the West Coast were. Like, listen, going into here in any meaningful manner is going to be a literal war zone, exactly how he's depicting it. It'll be nothing but that here. We're talking about, like, some of the most deranged individuals that are basically filling a good amount of these cities that you possibly can, attempting them to think logically for a moment. No. That's too much. Right? Like, it's just not a thing that's going to be plausible at all here. I can't imagine that, like a good conversation happening here at all. Okay. But either way, listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I don't think it's a great idea, but I do think that they have to understand that they don't run a single thing. Right? Like, you don't run a single thing. I mean, I get it. Listen, we the people. I love the idea of it, right? But the federal government is basically dictating that you can't be here right now. Okay. It is what it is, guys, right? Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, I will catch you guys later. Jesus.